What is the average number of times that a person tries on a new goal before they give up? Can you guess? The average number of times a person tries. The average is less than one, because most people quit before they try the first time. I'm going to do all these things, but before I do, I'm really tired and I need to take a break to a wonderful place called Someday I'll.
Welcome to Philosopher Insights, the podcast that delivers wisdom in minutes a day that you can put into practice daily and strive to master over a lifetime.
The podcast committed to sharing ideas that encourage you to bridge the gap between who you are today and the person you aspire to be in the future.
Hi, my name is Herb Lamba, and welcome to my podcast, where I will share practical insights from the world's best authors.
Knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is. The quest to become the best version of you starts right now.
Hi, and welcome to today's Philosopher Byte. Today I wanted to share a wonderful insight from Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy is a motivational speaker and self-development author who has written, I believe, close to 80 books. He has written books such as Eat That Frog, No Excuses, Focal Point, and Maximum Achievement. In today's message, he shares some really powerful wisdom. If you watched reality TV shows like Survivor, then getting voted off the island is probably a concept you are very familiar with. But Brian's message is about something far more important, voting yourself off Someday I'll. Here's Brian.
We found that there's a direct relationship between how quickly you take action on a new idea and how likely it is you'll ever take action on any idea at all. If you take action immediately, then you'll get the results, you'll get feedback, you'll be able to self-correct. But if you put time off and put it off, then what will happen is all the energy will drain from it. How many people here would like to double their income in the next year or two? Yes. Good. Eminently possible because of the number of new patients that are coming onto the market. But how many times, what is the average number of times that a person tries on a new goal before they give up? Can you guess? The average number of times a person tries. The average is less than one, because most people quit before they try the first time. What they do is they say, I want to do that, I want to double my income, and I want to install that internet marketing program, and I want to do this, and I want to come up to gold level, I'm going to do all these things, but before I do, I'm really tired and I need to take a break to a wonderful place called Someday I'll. And so they go to Someday I'll, and they go to Someday I'll in their mind, like remembering your last, vacation in the Caribbean or where was it? Someday I'll. And they drift off to Someday I'll. And that's where they go. And the bottom 80% of people in our population live on Someday I'll most of their lives. It's not that they lack ability or talent or opportunity. They just lack the energy to get on with it. So they go to Someday I'll. Now, who are they surrounded with on Someday I'll? Are there people on Someday I'll? And what's the primary topic of conversation on Someday I'll? Favorite excuses. What's your favorite excuse? What's your reason for being here on the island? Well, my mommy didn't love me when I was growing up. My dad was really mean, and my first wife, she was a real bitch. And then my professor said I never amount to anything, and then my friend took my car and wrecked it, and then my stocks went down, and so I have got less in my 401k program. And it's like going in a hospital, the baby's nursery, wah, 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 wah. All these people on Someday I'll going wah, and they're making up excuses and reasons. One of the great questions you have to ask is this, and it's a great question, is if your goal is to double your income, why isn't your income already twice as high? Why isn't your income already twice as high? Now, when you ask a question like that, say you want to be thin, why aren't you already thin? If you want to be fit, why aren't you already fit? If you want to be financially independent or out of debt, why aren't you already out of debt? And when you ask the question, you know what it triggers? It triggers your favorite excuse. It's your reason, your ticket to Someday I'll. This is my ticket to Someday I'll. What's yours? Well, you're overweight. You say, well, I have a glandular problem. Yes, sir, you do. It's your mouth gland. It's malfunctioning 5 times a day. In other words, so it's our favorite excuses. So I'm going to give you one of the great secrets of life. And here's the great secret of life is vote yourself off the island. No more excuses. Get off the island. No more Someday I'll. Someday I'll try this, and someday I'll do that, and someday I'll give it a try. Wah, wah, wah. Do you know what the words I'll try mean? The words I'll try mean I'm going to fail in advance. I'm telling you I'm going to fail. So there's an excuse for failure in advance. Are you going to come to my party next Saturday night? I'll try. What does that mean? That means I ain't coming, baby. I'm giving you a signal. I'll try means I'm not going to do it. I'm going to fail. So don't ever say you'll try. Either do it or don't do it. Get in or get out. Vote yourself off the island. Make a decision. And what we found is a direct relation between how fast you take action on an idea and how likely it is you'll ever take action on any ideas. According to Aristotle and all the great thinkers for more than 2,000 years, virtually 95% of everything we do is habit. We have habits of getting up and habits of brushing our teeth. We have physical habits. We have habits of thinking. We have habits of action and so on. 95%. So if you were to take action over and over again, repeatedly on a new subject, what would you eventually develop? A habit. If you develop the habit of taking action, you become an action-oriented person. And you can start off with nothing going for you. You can start off with a limited education, or you have good education, start off with a new practice in a new town and everything else. But if you're an action-oriented person, and you try this and you try that, and you try this and you try that, and you try something else, and you learn to get feedback, there's nothing to stop you from being successful. All successful people are intensely action-oriented. But it means that if you hear something here, take action on it immediately. If you hear something here, think, geez, that's good, go back and phone your practice and say, and tell somebody, look, why don't we start on this immediately before I even get back? All right? But don't say, well, I'll try, and I'll think about it. It sounds pretty good. But I got tickets to the island. What am I going to do with my tickets to the island? Well, sell them to the guy next to you. He needs them. He probably uses them all the time. It's like the guy who gets up in the morning and says, I wake up every morning at 6 a.m. just raring to go. And then I force myself to lay there until the feeling passes. Well, that's what a lot of people do. They hear all these great ideas and they say, wow, that's a great idea. I got to put some distance between me and that idea, or I may even implement it.
Well, I'm sure you'll recognize Someday I'll, because it's very likely you may be living on this island today. I spent the majority of my life on this island because it's comfortable and I met a lot of like-minded people. However, the problem is living on Someday I'll is equally frustrating because you wake up every single morning being reminded of that dream that you so eagerly want to pursue, but it continues to sit on your someday calendar. I just wanted to share 3 simple tips to vote yourself off of Someday I'll. The first one is, as Brian says, eliminate the word but, because if you closely examine what follows a but, it's usually an excuse. I'd like to start exercising, but. I'd like to go back to school, but. I'd like to start that new business, but. I'd like to, but. Whatever follows the but is an excuse. If you want to eliminate excuses, you need to eliminate the but. The second tip is start small. One of the things I did in the Optimize Coach program was to try and build some momentum on the things that I knew were not working. Momentum is such a powerful thing, but you need to start in order to gain that momentum. The difficulty is often getting started. So we need to look for ways to start super small and then start focusing on starting every single day. If you make your starts easy enough, you'll take those simple actions and you'll start to build that momentum that you need to do bigger and better things. So you make it so easy that it's actually easier to do the action than it is not to do it. So to put this in practical terms, I want to exercise for 20 minutes every day. Starts with, I will do 1 push-up today. I want to read a personal development book every week. Starts with, I will read 1 page every morning when I wake up. I heard this really inspiring story of a guy that wanted to lose 200 pounds, but he hated to work out. So the way he got started was he started small. He started super small. His only commitment at the beginning was to get to the gym. He didn't even have to work out to win. In fact, for the first few weeks, he didn't work out at all. All he did to build the habit was get to the gym. He knew if he started adding workouts to this micro commitment, he was more likely to quit. And to make a long story short, he ended up losing 200 pounds by starting with that very small commitment of showing up at the gym. And the third tip, one of my favorite expressions, something that I often think about, is it's more about integrity here, but DWYSYWD. Do what you say you will do. This tip is all about your own personal integrity with yourself. Once you write down the simple steps that you committed to taking so that you can vote yourself off Someday I'll, then just focus on DWYSYWD. Every time you do what you say you're going to do, you celebrate it. Celebrate every single time you win. It's the key to locking in the actions you're committed to taking every single day. DWYSYWD. That concludes today's Philosopher Byte. If you'd like to learn more about Brian Tracy, check out his website at www.briantracy.com. I hope the insights shared today will help you vote yourself off Someday I'll. Talk to you soon. You've been listening to Philosopher Insights with your host, Herb Lamba. If you enjoyed this episode and you'd like to support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To go deeper with me, you can register for free at www.philosopherinsights.com for instant access to a growing library of Philosopher Insights, which are 8 to 10 page PDFs plus 20-minute MP3s that break down my favorite insights from the world's best personal development books. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Facebook at Optimal Herb. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.